Alrighty, hello, what's up? I'm Sabrina and welcome back to another video. Yes, in this week's video, I'm going to be doing the mid-year freakout tag. Yeah, so I don't really know how all of this works. I assume I just answer the questions, which I found the questions from Sarah Curley's video and Allison Page's, and I kind of just like combined those two lists. Those are the questions I'm going to answer. I've read 30 books this year so far, and that sounds like a lot, but at the same time, it's really not. When I was picking books for this list, I was like, damn, I want to pick books that I read like last year and the year before. Like the stuff I've read this year, not a big selection to pick from, especially because I've been on a thing where like I read like an entire series, and in my mind, that's like one book. Like I kind of remember them all as a whole. It was kind of hard to pick books for this. Let's just get started, shall we? So first question of this book tag, starting off hella strong, is what is the best book you've read so far in 2023? This sounds like an easy question. It's just like pick your favorite book. But I've had such a mediocre reading year. Like literally I have rated one book out of the 30 books that I've read this year 5 stars. I've rated plenty of books 4 stars. Nothing has hit the spot. Like nothing has hit the spot in the way that a favorite book does. You know what I mean? Like it's a different level. The only book that I've read this year that I actually rated 5 stars was this book, Harry Potter, first Harry Potter book. And this was a really good book. Like I loved it. This is the only book I've rated 5 stars, and like for obvious reasons. This is an incredible book. The story is fantastic. The atmosphere is great. Everything about this was just magnificent. But if I was talking about my favorite books, I don't think I'd mention this one. It's not the first thing that comes to mind. That's why I had such a hard time answering this question. What's the best book I've read so far? They've all been mediocre as hell. Like, how do you differentiate the crowd, you know? Technically, it's this one's the only book I've rated 5 stars, but I would not consider this like one of my favorite books. So the second question is the best sequel you've read so far. And I'm gonna be really boring and just glaze over this really quick because the best sequels I've read are these two, the Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, as well as Harry Potter and the Prisoners of Azkaban. And these are the best sequels I've read so far. The other series that I finished is the Crave series. Those were all sequels, but to say those were good would be like lying. So I cannot say those are the best sequels. And then everything else that I've read is like technically a series, as in like it's called like 1, 2, 3, and 4. But it doesn't really feel like a series. Like you could read each one as a standalone. So what I mean with that is like I read The Deal by Elle Kennedy, and then I also read like all the other ones, but like is that really a series? It's just a bunch of standalones in the same universe in my mind. So I don't want to say those as like the best sequels. This and Crave is the only real like series that I've read in my consideration, and the Crave ones were absolutely, that's not even true. I did enjoy Crush. Everything after that was big old garbage poo-poo. I hated it. Gonna go with these bad boys. They were good. Okay, next question is a new release that you haven't read yet that you want to read. And literally, I know exactly which book I want to read. This book has been on my mind for ages, and that is Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I rated The Love Hypothesis 5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And I know she gets the complaint a lot that each one of her books is like a copy paste of the last one, which I see how that is true, but I liked the first one, so can I just have some more of it? Like, I don't really mind that it's like the same because I liked it. And I love the science aspect, like the STEM part of it. Really gets me going. Nerdy boys any day. I was going to pre-order the book so that I could get it like as soon as it was released, but then my pea-sized brain forgot to do that, and now it's sold out. And I really want the physical copy because I have Love on the Brain and The Love Hypothesis, and I want to add this one to the collection. That's that for that question. Let's go to the next one. So, next question, staying in the topic of new releases, now we have the question, the most anticipated release for the next part of the year, so everything after this. I didn't have an answer for this up until about a week ago when I read Fourth Wing, and now my most anticipated release for 2023 is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. The Fourth Wing series ended on a cliffhanger, which is why I'm so excited for this sequel. I feel like it can only go up. Like, it's gonna be fantastic. We've got all the foundation laid down, we've got the magic system, we've got the world, so now we can really just like dive into the story, and I'm so excited. I think it comes out in November, which is actually pretty soon. I'm thrilled. I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait. The next question is surprise favorite new author. Actually, it's not a favorite, but it's the best one I've got. It's gonna have to be Elle Kennedy. Now, listen, I'm mainly putting this in here for the surprise factor, because I am actually thoroughly shocked that I enjoyed those books. And the amount that I enjoyed them, I'm shooketh. I was not expecting it. I kind of just read them as like a little palate cleanser. I'm talking about the Deal series, by the way, or whatever it's called. The hockey series, what's it called? It's off camp. I thought it was fantastic. I mean, no, it's, well, It's good. Like, it's entertainment. I was so entertained. It was so good. I read these books so quickly. I had so much fun reading them. They're not gonna be classics, but if you need a quick little romance book to cheer you up, perfect for that. I really liked them, and honestly, I was shocked by that. I thought it was gonna be, that was trash, and I hated every second of it, but it wasn't, and I was glad for that. Up next, we have my newest fictional crush. Are we surprised when I say Xaden? Are we shocked? In my head, I imagined him as like a Cassian 2.0. He's kind of got the Cassian build and all that stuff. Obviously, he has a different personality. He's fantastic. And he's fantastic in a way that a lot of other book characters aren't, because not only is this man smoking hot, he's smart, fabulous communicator. I just love him. I just love him. The little things he did for Violet were so freaking cute. Like, so cute. Like, are you kidding me? If a man did that for me, dead. He really won me over by the end of the book. I wasn't so sure at the start that this was gonna work for me, but at the end, I was like, hot diggity darn damn. And then another one, an honorable mention that I just wanted to say, is Nate Hawkins. When I read that book, for clarification, Nate Hawkins is from Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I was obsessed with that man. That man, incredible. Is Nate Hawkins just Garrett Graham? Possible. Possible. Possible that they're the same. It's possible. Did they look exactly the same in my head? Yeah, they did. They absolutely did. That's my fictional crushes of 2023. I really hope that I find some more, because the obsessions that I had last year with like Rice and stuff were unmatched, and I need to experience those feelings again. Okay, books that made me cry. That's the next question. Books that made me cry. We're gonna just skim over these because they're slightly embarrassing. First book that made me cry most recently was Fourth Wing. I wasn't sobbing. I had a single tear slip down my face. Moving on. Another one that made me cry was Crushed by Tracy Wolf. Spoiler alert, skip like 10 seconds if you don't want to hear this. There's a moment where Jackson, who's like the first main boy, dies. He dies. He comes back to life, but when he died, I kid you not, I sobbed. I sobbed. I was devastated. I was absolutely distraught. Worked out fine. He came back to life, got a dragon heart. He's chilling, my friends. He's chilling. And then this is probably the most embarrassing thing I'll ever admit. The Score by Elle Kennedy did make me cry, and not just like a tear, like I had streams down my face. Just for the funnies, here's the Snapchat clip that I took when I read this book of me crying. This is like near the end. The tears have kind of dried up, but I was still in shambles. Not even that sad. Why am I bawling my eyes out right now? What? And yeah. So, moving on. That made me cry. Next up, a book that made me happy, but the only book that's really done that for me is Strong Female Character by Fern Brady. I did an entire vlog on this book, so you can watch that, but basically I thought it was great. Some of the topics she talked about made me feel very, very seen and understood, and that made me happy. And I think it was a great memoir, and I think it's a great message that she's spreading to the world that I think more people should read. So yeah, that one made me really, really happy. Next up, the most beautiful book that I have received. I really did not buy that many beautiful books. I am trying not to buy books because if I keep buying books, I'll never read the books that I've bought like before. I think what I'll say is this book. I'll say Dance of Thieves. I mean, this is a beautiful cover. It is gorgeous. I did not book. The cover is stunning, the spine is stunning, all of it is beautiful. Just didn't like the story that much. Still a pretty book that I will be keeping just because it's a pretty book. And then the very last question, what books do I need to read by the end of the year? Okay, so I have 3 books that I picked for this. The first one is right over there. That puppy right there, Priory of the Orange Tree. I will be reading that this summer. I have to read this. I keep putting it off because it's such a long book. It's like a whole mental thing that I've got going on, but I just gotta get down to it and read that book. This summer, I'm going to try and attempt. I want to read it so bad. I'm just really scared of how thick it is. The next thing that I need to read this year, well, I don't need to do anything, but that I want to read this year really bad is the Throne of Glass series. Like I said, I'm searching for that obsession, and I was gonna read it last year, just never got around to it, and now I'm waiting for fall because for some reason those books give me fall vibes, and I want to only read it in like November. And then very last one that I really want to read this year is Happy Place by Emily Henry. First of all, everyone is raving about this book. This is the best book they've read all year. Like, I need to be part of the squad. I need to be part of the club. But second of all, which is the better reason for why I'm reading this, is because my best friend actually already read this book. She loved it. She's not even on BookTube or anything, so she doesn't even know that this book is going viral. She just picks it up at the airport and started reading it. It has my name in it because there's a character called Sabrina, so she started underlining it when it reminded her of me. As she was reading this, she's like, oh my god, this is our life. So yeah, she's like annotated and underlined a bunch of the book, so I can't wait to read this. Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait! the best gift ever, guys. If you ever want to impress somebody, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your best friend, annotated book. Shows time, love, appreciation, knowing the person, dedication. It's like the perfect gift. Anyway, that is that for the mid-year freakout tag. I know that maybe not the most interesting video because nobody really cares about my opinion. I'm in exam season and I needed to film something that was quick, and also I think this gives you a good little overview of what's going on so far in my reading year. I've only read 30 books, but it's already getting hard to remember what I read in the beginning of the year. Like, I actually had to like look at my Goodreads to remember that I'd read Icebreaker. Comment down below any of the answers to these questions that you want to share. I'd love to chat about some books. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy and you did like my opinions, then please like and subscribe. And if you didn't, I'm sorry, but then why did you stay this long? All right, thank you so much. Bye-bye. I'm gonna get back to studying because, ladies and gentlemen, the grind never stops.